Well, hey again, y'all. It's me, Carpo. The drive I'm on is relatively quiet, so I thought it'd be a good time to make a quick video about nostalgia. As I was listening to some classic rock on my way up here, thinking about why we're so attracted to things that we grew up with, things that take us back to our youth, and it seems very obvious at first glance. Well, we had a great time when we were young, and they were good memories, so therefore we built relationships with the music we heard. All that's true. And also, the fact that if we're in certain states of mind, this is something I've discovered, especially taking psychedelics at concerts, you can bond with music in a way that's hard to describe. And since when we're young, our hormones are going crazy, music sounded different to us. I'm just using music as an example. It could be the smell of somebody's cooking that takes you back. It could be, it could be any trigger. And the interesting thing about it is, it might take you back to your youth and you have great memories. Maybe you didn't even have a good youth. There's something about the way we remember the past. We can pick out the good times. But the deeper question is really, why do we want to go back to that? Or why do we yearn for it so often? And why do we love thinking about those times? It's because I believe, in essence, it was a much simpler time for a lot of us. Because some people want to forget their youth. Some people hear music and smells that trigger them negatively, that they don't want to remember certain things. But for a lot of us, it reminds us of a time where we didn't have to think about responsibilities the same way we do as adults, but also kind of along the lines of the more you learn about the world, the more complicated it becomes, and the less you realize you know. The old conundrum. And there's this big beautiful red barn here. And maybe I can show you as I drive by. See it there? Yeah, it's nice. And that instantly gave me nostalgia and took me back to maybe 15 years ago or longer, when my brother and I used to work, I used to work with him selling owl pellets. So we'd go around to the barns and we'd find big old barns and we'd knock on the door of the house and say, hey, can we go in your barn and look for owl pellets? They would either A, know what we meant and say, no way, I sell them, or B, they would know what we meant and say, why do you want owl puke? Or C, they would have no idea what we're talking about, think we're just trying to rip them off or something. I don't blame them. But anyway, so many things that I see in my day-to-day life that take me back to a part of my life that I remember. Not all of them were super great, but it seems that we really love to reflect. It seems like in today's world, we don't have enough time to reflect by going out and looking at the world. And maybe that's why people are so hung up on, retro websites and retro games and retro type music. It's trying to go back to a simpler time when we weren't so constantly inundated with distractions. I don't know. What do you think?